Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to the Spreads MLB Weekly Update. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with Jay Dash. Dash, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling.
We're going to cover June 5th through the 11th. Started off, the Mets placed second baseman Daniel Murphy on the 15-day DL on Friday with a left quad strain. Dilson Herrera has been recently activated from the DL and should see significant playing time moving forward.
Yeah, they have a lot of questions with their offense. They still have Matt Reynolds in the minors, and you were talking about them bringing over Aramis Ramirez possibly.
Orioles catcher Matt Wieters finally returned from the DL last Friday to make his 2015 debut. He went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run scored against Cleveland. He then hit his first home run of the season in the final game of that series. He has at least 1 hit in each of his first 4 games. Dodgers star outfielder Yasiel Puig made somewhat of a surprising return from the DL on Saturday. He went 1 for 3 with a run and an RBI. He has a hit in each of his 4 games played since returning from his 39-game absence. He went 4 for 4 with a home run, 3 RBIs, 2 runs, and a 7-6 win versus Arizona on Wednesday.
Yeah, he actually scored the winning run in that game. The Dodgers need him back. We actually talked about him in our Cork segment this week. Go check that out.
D-backs third baseman Jake Lamb was activated from the DL after recovering from a stress fracture in his foot. Put him on the shelf in mid-April. He got off to a hot start this season with the D-backs, and they're confident he can keep up that great production. They kind of need him because they don't got much else down there.
Yeah, Yasmani Tomas, he's playing pretty good at third base, but they got rid of Mark Trumbo, sent him over to the Mariners so they can open up room for Jake Lamb returning off the DL here.
The Yanks starter CC Sabathia became the 31st Major League pitcher with 2,500 career strikeouts and a 6-2 win over the Angels on Sunday. He is just the 9th lefty to reach that milestone and is the active strikeout leader in the majors.
Yeah, he's definitely not the pitcher he used to be, but you can see he's making his mark on his league.
Astros prize prospect Carlos Correa made his Major League debut on Monday, going 1 for 4 with an RBI single against one of the toughest lefties in baseball in Chris Sale of the White Sox.
Yeah, a lot of people believe Carlos Correa was the best prospect in baseball. I guess still is, you want to say. But this guy should really help a struggling Astros team right now. They lost 7 in a row at one point.
Crushed a homer into left field the other day. Brewers closer Francisco Rodriguez passed Troy Percival to move into 9th all-time on the career saves list after a 2-0 win over the Pirates on Monday. It was his 359th career save.
Yeah, the Brewers won 2 of 3 of that series. Francisco Rodriguez, I think he's 33 years old now, so he still has a lot of saves left in him if he can keep pitching well.
The D-backs took shortstop Dansby Swanson out of Vanderbilt with the number 1 overall pick in the 2015 draft. He's thought of as a high on-base guy with excellent speed and projects to bat at the top of the lineup. A shortstop was selected with the first 3 picks in this draft.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks are scoring a lot of runs this season, but we know they have a lot of work to do to become a playoff team, and this Dansby Swanson could be a nice piece at the top of their lineup in the future.
The Cubs signed former closer Rafael Soriano. Should give him another viable option at the back end of their bullpen. Soriano did struggle late in the 2014 season and shown a drop in velocity over the past couple of years, but he's hoping he can get it all back together and get another good year in.
Yeah, the Cubs have been a pretty good team this season. They still want to add some pieces to this bullpen even after this signing of Soriano, so they say.
Indians third base prospect Giovanni Ursula made his Major League debut Tuesday and hit his first home run in a 6-0 win over the Mariners on Thursday. Third baseman Lonnie Chisenhall was optioned to AAA after a poor start to the season.
We should have done a prospect check on Ursula. It was pretty much a surprise that he got called up when he did, but he looks like he could be a pretty good hitter, maybe a 270 hitter in the bigs, but he shows good pop and he shows very good plate discipline as well.
Albert Pujols tied Mickey Mantle for 16th place on Major League Baseball's all-time home run list in Tuesday night's 8-2 win versus the Rays. It was his 16th home run of the season. Pujols is on pace to hit over 30, if you ask me.
Well, if you ask anybody, the pace is the pace, and he's definitely on pace to hit over 30 home runs.
He's beast. Giants 27-year-old rookie Chris Heston threw the season's first no-hitter against the Mets on Tuesday. He was the first Giants rookie to throw a no-no since Jeff Tesreau in 1912. He did, however, bean 3 people in the 5-0 win. It's the Giants' 4th no-hitter in 4 years in the 17th in team history. People talk about how well Ray Searage turned this Buccos pitching staff around. He don't have 4 no-nos in 4 years.
No, he does not. They don't let him go that deep. But Chris Heston, he wasn't even going to be in this rotation. The only reason he was because Matt Cain got hurt at the beginning of the season, and it gave Heston a chance, and he's pitched pretty well. He's had his tough stretches, but he bounced back in a big way on Tuesday, obviously.
More Yankees news. Closer Andrew Miller is heading the DL with a strained muscle in his left forearm. Miller was in the midst of a breakout season in his first year in the closer's role. Dellin Betances should fill in as closer until Miller is healthy.
Yeah, Betances is a monster, actually, so it's not really going to hurt the 9th inning. It's going to hurt the 8th inning, though, because they don't have him there. But Andrew Miller has been a beast this season. He was a definite all-star, so that's a big loss for the Yankees.
Brewers prospect Taylor Youngman made his MLB debut on Tuesday against the Buccos. He allowed 1 earned run on 3 hits, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts in 7 innings. The only run allowed was from a Starling Marte solo home run. Solid debut, but every pitcher that debuts against the Pirates shuts him down, so I'm not too impressed.
Nonsense. Actually, Youngman isn't that high of a prospect. He hasn't shown the greatest numbers in the minors, but when a team sees a pitcher for the first time, sometimes he can get the best of him. I do not expect this guy to be a top 3 pitcher, maybe not even a top 4.
Houston Astros pitching prospect Vincent Velasquez made his MLB debut on Wednesday on the road against the White Sox. He only went 5 innings. He only allowed 3 hits with 4 walks and 5 Ks, recorded a no decision, and it was a 4-1 loss.
Yeah, the walks were a little bit high, but he didn't allow a run, and this is a pretty good start for the first of his career. And this guy has a fastball that can reach up to 98 mile per hour.
Mine reaches 89 now, but I'm getting old.
Yeah, Dad, wrong. 8, maybe.
Mets catcher Travis d'Arnaud was activated from the DL on Wednesday after missing almost 2 months with a fractured hand. He went 1 for 4 with 2 runs in his first game back. He's garbage, so you don't really expect too much from him, but, I guess they're happy to have him back.
You serious?
Yeah, dude's garbage.
d'Arnaud's their best hitter.
Yeah, he's garbage. Rays starter Jake Odorizzi was placed on the 15-day DL after suffering an oblique injury in his last start. There's no timetable for his return. Injury's not considered to be serious, but, guys in baseball don't even play if they hurt their little finger or they have a hangnail or a blister, so I'm sure he won't be back anytime soon.
It's an oblique injury. If you don't let him heal, that thing's going to last all season long. But the Rays have had a ton of injury problems in their rotation this season, so it's just another one from a guy who's pitching excellent this season. All they have left now is Chris Archer.
The best team in baseball dealing with more injury issues. The Cards outfielder Matt Holliday was placed on the DL with a quad injury. A timetable for his return is still unknown. He will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. He's getting to be a little older, though, and quad injuries are tough, and you don't want him to linger, especially into the playoffs, so don't expect to see him anytime soon.
Please believe. And I don't know if the Cardinals can hold on to their lead with all these injuries. They lost probably their best hitter and their best pitcher now.
All they got are the Pirates and the Cubs chasing them. They'll be fine.
Pirates are the best team in baseball, son.
That's a good joke. The Pirates optioned Jed...
No, they didn't. It was the Padres that did it.
Damn it. The Padres optioned Jed Gyorko to the minors after struggling mightily this season. Gyorko signed a 6-year, $35 million deal at the beginning of last season after a strong rookie campaign in 2013. Looks like the Padres are going to have to eat some of that money, though, because he's not getting it done.
This was a guy that was a top 50 prospect. I think he made it in the 40s at one point. He always had a high strikeout rate. I always had questions about this guy, and they're turning out to be true. I don't think this guy is going to be a good player.
The Mets are reported to be actively trying to trade starting pitcher, whether it be John Neese or Dylan Gee. This would open up room for the Mets to call up prospect Steven Matz, who we talked about in a prospect check. Go check that out. He's thought to be a long-term piece to their rotation. We both agree that Matz is going to be a good player and who probably will be up by the end of this season. So look to see either Neese or Gee move along somewhere.
And I expect it to be sooner rather than later.
The Phillies are looking to trade closer Jonathan Papelbon. The Cubs and Blue Jays have inquired about him. And I'm pretty sure he's the only player in Major League Baseball to have the all-time saves lead for 2 different franchises.
Yes, this could be a nice piece to the back of someone's bullpen. The Cubs just signed Rafael Soriano. If they get Papelbon too, that bullpen could round out to be very nice by the time the deadline comes around.
So why aren't the Pirates trying to get him?
That's not the type of reliever the Pirates need in the back end of their bullpen. The Cubs are actually maybe looking for a closer still, where the Pirates are probably looking for more of a guy who can eat up some innings earlier in games.
Red shortstop Zack Cozart will miss the rest of the season with torn ligaments in his right knee. He suffered the injury trying to stretch out a single at first. He landed wrong on the base. His surgery is set for Monday. It was looking like a breakout season for the 29-year-old. He was hitting .258. He had 9 home runs through the early part of the year. It's going to be a big loss for the Reds. Not that they're really in the race for the division, but, I mean, I guess technically, mathematically, could have had a chance at a wild card spot.
Oh, why not? They're probably only 5 games out of the wild card right now, and Zack Cozart was playing great this season. I think they just had Rafael Iglesias going to DL. They're probably looking to trade Cueto at some point if they don't stay in it. So this is a bigger loss than you think. If they don't stay in it, you might see some your favorite players on your team, Cincinnati fans, get traded now.
Well, that wraps it up. Thank you, Dash, for coming in. Thank you, fans, for listening. Fans, you guys can follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread. You can follow me on Twitter at betjimthewin. Come check us out for all your baseball news each week. You can check out our website at thespreadnews.simplesite.com. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel.